Welcome to the Dice Tower video preview of GenCon 2013. In this series of 4 videos, Tom Vassell and Z Garcia take a look at announced games for the GenCon convention. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Z.
Hey, welcome back to the final video of our GenCon preview.
Wrap up, baby.
2013. Right. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. How you doing?
We remembered to introduce ourselves this time.
Yes, right up front. Not, talking about our own games or anything.
So, what we're doing is we're going through the companies alphabetically. We're starting at O, which might scare you, but it's because it seems like most companies are from A to M. It's
this was
weird.
front heavy, sure. It was a lot.
So, Out of the Box Publishing, they always show off all their party games. They'll be there showing off Apples to Apples and all that. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Apples to Apples is Mattel now. But they're showing off Word on the Street. They usually have a giant Word on the Street game where you push the letters across. They will have Snake Oil. They had Snake Oil last year, but it was like the Inventors self-published game.
That's right.
They now have their own official out-of-the-box version.
That's right.
Then my number one pick for a game that I'm interested in is the next one, and that's from Paizo. Pathfinder adventure card game.
Interesting.
Well, Mike Selinker is the designer, and I think he does a good job at designing games. I like his stuff. Paizo does have a good... they did a good job with Pathfinder.
They do. I do like the stuff they make.
It's a deck-building game. It seems like they have a ton of stuff for this. They're releasing the base game and adventure sets that come with it. I think that they will support this for a long time. This might be a Thunderstone competitor. But it looks fairly complex for a deck builder.
Right.
I don't know. I'm pumped.
Could be, it looks cool. It looks like this could be competition for some of the heavier deck building games, which is cool to see. It seems like most deck building games are pretty light, closer to Dominion than, say, Core World. And this seems to be closer to that. So, cool stuff.
Plaid Hat will be there. They have the second summoners for a couple of the clans, the dwarves, the fire elves, the ice tundra orcs, and the goblins. They'll have a second summoner that they'll be signing, and they'll be showing off BioShock Infinite, the Siege of Columbus. That will be of Columbia.
Which you played and reviewed already.
I did. It's a good game. I don't know anything about the video game other than what people have told me. I went online and watched a lot of it so I could... know my source reference, and I still don't know what's going on. but apparently the board game is very different. You're playing the quote-unquote bad guys from the universe, and it's like a war area control game with some really neat mechanics. And then it will also be demoing the first expansion for Mice and Mystics, The Heart of Glormandad.
Awesome.
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's from them. That's the one thing I'm most excited about. Mice and Mystics is something I'm still kind of starting to roll on, and I'm already really excited.
Cool. Purple Brain Creations. We're going to start a company where we'll give you a good name for your company.
We need like two big wheels where you roll one wheel and roll the other, and whatever name's lined up.
Purple Brain.
Go.
Okay. But they have a game called The Three Little Pigs, which is a cool theme. It's a push your... luck dice game. Seems simple, but...
It looks really light, and it looks neat. And this is actually... it just looks interesting, because the dice are really bright pink. And
well, why not?
Yeah, the dice look neat. If you're somebody who is a sucker for weird dice, off the beaten path dice, check these out, because they're neat. And again, light dice, push your luck game. You build the houses, and you try not to bust and have the wolf blow them down. It looks cool. Mostly geared for kids, maybe, but neat.
All right. And then Rather Dashing Games.
Yes. Again.
Has Dwarven Miner, which is another push your luck dice game with powers and things. So that looks interesting.
That looks a little more up my alley.
I don't know much about. Well, I guess the Three Little Pigs more up my alley because I got kids. I think they would like that one.
Sure.
I don't know much about Dwarven Miner, the Rather Dashing Games. As a company, but I think they were at GenCon last year. So this will be interesting to see this game. Another one of my top 10 games I'm really excited about is from Smirk and Dagger, and that's Dread Curse.
And that's on my top 10. I think
power!
Boo! That's actually one of the few we overlap on being one of the most looked forward to, and this is a pirate themed game. It seems like a light pirate theme game.
You're trying to get treasure. You have special power cards. You can go up to 8 people. It's made by the guy who made Cutthroat Caverns, and it has that a little vicious, back and forth.
It's a very beer and pretzel. Well, like pretzels. Take that sort of real light pub style game. Okay. It looks a lot like Libertalia, which is something I thought was very interesting.
But a much lighter version.
Yeah,
of it.
I just know the look of it is very similar. So I'm hoping that there's not some confusion there.
I don't think there will be.
But again, if you like that, take that light pirate thing. I'm really excited about this one. I mean, as soon as I saw it, read a little bit about it, I was like, okay, this is one of them. This is one of my top 10 for sure.
All right, moving on to Steve Jackson. You like Munchkin stuff? They'll have it. Moving on. No, but that's really what they have. Munchkin boxes of holding, Munchkin Dragons, Munchkin Pathfinder. So, hey, people like it, they'll be selling it. Stoneblade Entertainment, who does Ascension, will have Ascension Darkness Unleashed.
Which is a follow-up to Rise of Vigil, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, this has like some dark treasures. One of the things I noticed in this game is the artwork seems to be improving.
Right.
It's like,
well, from what I understand, the artist from the original set, which is the same guy, but on the original set, from what I've read, had a very constrained timeline to put out the artwork.
Oh, really?
And so he's been having more time, and so his artwork is getting better. It's still not stunning, in my opinion. But you're right, it is getting better.
All right, well, there you go. Stronghold Games. They're big. Now, they have one of the biggest releases there with Space Cadets Dice Duel. That's going to be a game people will be probably running to get.
Yes, this company I'm getting the same vibe from them as I'm getting from Yellow, that they're just slowly becoming one of those companies to really watch. And almost everything they put out, boom. Great stuff.
And there's also a lot of Revolver expansions if you like the Revolver game. Mm-hmm. And they'll have a lot of new games that they also released at Origins, Time and Space, and the Vampire Empire. Mm-hmm. So that's there. But, I mean, the Space Cadets Dice Duel is one that I'm really pumped about. Another real-time dice game, but it's team against team. I'm just excited about that.
I'm looking forward to the Revolver expansions, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 myself.
This is the first time I've seen expansions called 1 point anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It's really neat. They're supporting the game very well. I'm excited about it.
All right. Tasty Minstrel Games will have Dungeon Roll, which is right here. It comes in a little treasure chest. This is kind of a push your luck dice game. I think that's like the fourth time I've said that today, too. Push your luck dice game where you roll dice and you go through the dungeon and kill monsters. You have a certain amount of dice and you spend them to beat the monsters, and then eventually you either stop or you run out of dice and then you get nothing.
Right.
So there's that. What else they got? They have Rialto, which is a Euro game. Mm-hmm. Village Inn, which is an expansion of Village, which was a game a lot of people liked.
That's right.
And then Kings of Arenstein.
Winner of the Kennerspiel, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Then Uniforge is Frank and Die. They're finally releasing that. Mm-hmm. Frank and Die is the game, if you've seen the picture of me in the lab coat.
Yes. Okay. It's finally.
Yeah. Well, basically, though, the game is a speed game where you roll dice and then you grab the parts that you need. Mm-hmm. Or you have to say, like, 4 arms. And if you're right, then you get an arm for your Frankenstein. And then there'll also be demoing a game called Top This. So that's from Uniforge. Upper Deck will be there, showing off Legendary, their deck building game,
of course,
with their new expansion Dark City that was released at Origins in limited numbers. Here it'll be there. They'll also be showing off the upcoming expansion Fantastic Four, which will have some secret characters in it, maybe the Fantastic Four.
Possibly.
And then they said they're announcing a new license for the Legendary at GenCon. We don't know what it is. All they did was show the word in green. What does that mean? So we guessed Shrek, Gremlins. I don't know what it is.
So they're going for something not superhero themed.
It's not superheroes, and there was, I don't know what it is.
Interesting. Looking forward to that.
And let's see, USAopoly has Crossways and Tapple. Now, I kind of went by their booth at Origins. I saw it, and the Tapple people were tapping on this word game, and I didn't think much about it, but I heard some good things about both these games, so I'm looking forward to those. Then we have Wizards of the Coast, who will be there, and it's supposed to be released like a week before Gen Con, but I'm assuming a lot of people get there. The expansion for Lords of Waterdeep.
That's going to be huge.
Huge. Very excited about that.
Very popular game from last year, this year, wasn't it?
No, it was last year,
Last
2012.
year.
It was early in the year, but this people have been looking for it. It's basically the Skulls of Davenport. There's 2 expansions in one box, or you can use them both.
Great.
Wizkids will have one of the most popular games there, Star Trek Attack Wing, by far. That will be one of those games. It's like the X-Wing game, except with Star Trek ships.
You can hate on each other, Star Wars and Star Trek people.
They also will be demoing The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and Mage Knight Resurrection, the new expansion for Mage Knight, and then Trains and Stations. Now, we've played Trains and Stations.
Yes.
And it is fun.
It's a great little game.
But it's a light game.
It's a light dice game, yes it is. Maybe not as light as some of the games we've been speaking about here, but this is a slam dunk in my opinion. I'm worried that a lot of people are going to see the cover, see the name, and then realize that they're getting a really light game. So I'm a little worried about the backlash to thinking it's a heavier game. It's a light game, but it's a great dice game.
Yeah, it's kind of it has a little bit of a push your luck aspect, not too much, but basically you roll dice and then you use those dice to get points in different ways. Like it a lot, but that's not actually going to be out there. It will just be demoed.
That's right.
It's coming out of Essen. Then finally, the last name in gaming is Z-Man Games.
Yeah.
And they have even more buildings for Agricola, all creatures big and small. And then Black Spy, which is a reprint of an old Alan Moon 2-player game. They will have the Kenner Spiel. That's not good. And that's going to fall. All right.
Yeah.
And then Bruges, you'll have the English version of this, so I can actually play it. The game, I bet that. How is this not in your top 10? The Hiroshima Hex 3.0.
You know, I'm not so sure how I feel about this. I got to tell you.
Why? You love it.
I do, and I have all these expansions.
Oh, you don't want them to reboot
it. You know, I'm a little. You know what? I'm a little unhappy about the whole thing. I have to say.
This is twice they've done it to you. Pandemic.
Yes. Pandemic was, all right, fine. The next expansion's coming out. I'm gonna need that expansion in the lab.
Pandemic in the lab. That's gonna be huge.
So fine.
It's gonna sell out first day. I'm calling it.
Yes, I think so. So fine. Okay, you reprint that. You changed it all. Fine. Now they're doing it also with Hiroshima Hex. I'm unhappy. I have to tell you. And I want to get that Doomsday Machine expansion on its own. It's included.
Are they
now.
incompatible though?
I don't think so. They just look entirely different.
All right. Well, we'll have to see. But they're also releasing a card game called Parade. It was a Alice in Wonderland's Parade, basically a very good little card game,
which already was out, and again they just cleaned up and made it.
That was
pretty.
A Japanese game, right?
Yes, neat stuff.
And it's a fun game. And then Robinson Crusoe, which is a really fun cooperative game in which I still have not yet won.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's something I'm getting for sure. It's about time too.
That's it. That's all the games coming out that we know of. There's probably other games that won't be there, but there's a ton of stuff there. Even if a lot of games we talked about are demos, it's great fun. We mentioned all the designers who will be there. Lots of things will be there. Z will be signing autographs.
Bald head. Proud bald.
Very excited about it. It's less than 2 weeks away. GenCon 2013. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.